Pranav, you also share it here also, Nana. So you share in Zoom also.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
gonna ask. It's not letting me share. It's not turned on.
oh, is it? So,
Yeah.
so yeah. Now you try. It should be.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Okay, hi everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Today we'll be presenting about fractions, which you guys have previously learned, on the number line, which you guys also have learned, but today we'll be combining the two topics. So, the agenda for today, what we'll be doing is first we'll review fractions as parts of a whole, and then we'll review number lines and how they work. Finally, we'll combine the two topics and learn how fractions can be put on number lines and how you can easily visualize parts of a whole but on a line. So first, let's review how fractions work. So when you take a rectangle like this one over here, you'll see one big rectangle, and then you can split it into different equal parts. So here put one, two, three, four lines, and then we make eight equal pieces of it. So here there's one, and there's another one here, and in total there's eight parts that make up this rectangle. So in total we have eight pieces, and in order to represent it as a fraction, we take the total amount of pieces, which is eight here, and put it on the bottom of the line. And then on the top, we put how many parts we have. So here I colored four of them because we have four of those parts. So that's called the numerator, and then the denominator is the total amount of parts. So 4 divided by 8 is the fraction that represents this shape, uh, the shaded part of this shape. So your turn. Take a moment and make a fraction that represents this. Think of it like a chapati, right? You have one chapati and you're taking one equal piece out of it. So what is the fraction that represents that? Write it down on your paper and yeah. So when we have uh, one shaded piece of a full circle, we're going to take the shaded piece, the amount of shaded pieces we have. So here it's one, and we're going to put it on the top, which is called the numerator. And then we're going to put the line below it. And then below the line, we'll put how many total parts. So here we have one, two, three, and four. So we have four total pieces. So the fraction that represents this is 1 over 4. Sorry. So the number line, I hope you guys remember how this worked. I believe last year presented this before, but we'll go over it again to make sure that you guys know how it works. And so yeah, the number line, if you guys can remember, is a tool that helps us visually understand how numbers relate to each other. So when you have one, two, three, four, and so on, uh, one is a lower number than two. And two is lower than three. So the number line can help us visualize a number is smaller or greater than another number. And as it says in the name, it's a line that we draw, and we have an arrow to the right, uh, meaning we add numbers as we go to the right. So, say you are holding a stick, and the farther you move to the right of that stick, we add a number. So, uh, each time we jump to the right, we increase by a number. And when you have that same stick, but you're moving to the left side, we're subtracting numbers. We're having less and less of that stick, right? So every time we jump to the left, we're going to decrease by a certain number. So yeah, we'll have a right arrow for the right side and then a left arrow for the left side. So as you can see here, we have the line. We just draw a straight line and then we put arrows on each side. Here we have left and then here we have a right arrow. And then to show that we're jumping, we have to draw little smaller lines that are vertical, that are straight up. So we draw one here, another one, and then we keep drawing those vertical lines until we get to the right side. And here we have a number line that represents five numbers. So it goes from 0 all the way up to 5. So for the first little vertical line that we have here, we're gonna put a 0 under it because we have, so if you think of this line as a stick that you have, um, when you're holding the very beginning of the stick, you have 0 of that stick, right? You're not holding any part of that stick. So that's why the first vertical line is 0 under it, has 0 under it. Now when we jump to the right, um, let me pull up a more, like an easier way to show this. Okay, so we drew our line and we add arrows to it at the end. Now, when we're at the beginning of the stick, we have 0 of that stick as I explained, so we put a 0 under it. Now, when we jump over this part of the stick, we have more of that stick, right? We have 1 of that stick. Now, when we move over again, we have even more of that stick and keep moving like that. Now, these are whole numbers, so they are bigger than just a stick, but I've just used a stick as an example to show you how jumping works. So how we move to the right or how we move to the left. So we can just fill it in. So every time you jump over, you increase by 1. So if you're at 3, you take 3, you add 1 to it to get the next number, you have 4. That's what you write on the next vertical line. You keep going. Hmm. Okay, I want you guys to take a couple of minutes and uh, fill in each vertical line. So, one second. So, if we have another line here, and it starts at 5 instead of 0, and we have 6 total vertical lines. What comes here? What comes here? What comes here? Here and here. I want you guys to fill in those 5 vertical lines. What comes under them? Okay. I hope you guys have drawn the line and filled in what comes under each of these vertical lines. Um, let's look at the answer, and I'll explain it to you. So the next number would be 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, if any of you guys didn't get that, I'll explain it very quickly. So we start at 5, and so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 vertical lines. Now, when we jump over to the next vertical line from 5, we take 5 and then we add the number 1. So we do 5 plus 1, and that will equal 6. So we do 6 here. Once we jump again, we do 6 plus 1 equals 7. So now we put 7 under this one. And we keep doing that until we get to the end of this, which is 10. And if anyone has questions on that, please make sure to ask. Number line isn't very easy to understand quickly, so if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Okay, now let's zoom in and split the distance between 0 and 1 into 4 different pieces. So if we want to go back, we start at 0 of the stick, and then we go to uh, one whole amount of that stick. So we have one whole stick. We go from 0 of that stick to one whole stick. Now, if we want to split that into 4 parts, so we have uh, the beginning, which is 0, and then we have one whole stick at the very end. Now we want to split that stick into 4 different pieces. So there's one piece here, the second piece, the third piece, and the fourth piece. So we're kind of zooming into the number line we already learned, and we're kind of asking ourselves what is in between of these whole numbers that's even smaller than them. So I have a visual for you guys, the same stick visual. So if we have the stick and then we break it into 4 equal pieces, because let's say we want to give it to our friends, and we want to give each of our friends one equal piece of that stick. So when we're at the beginning of that stick, we have 0 of it, and at the end, we have one whole stick. So when we break one part of it, we call that one part 1 divided by 4, okay? Because we have 4 total pieces, and we have one of those 4 pieces. Now, the second piece, individually, it is also 1 out of the 4 pieces, and all 4 pieces are 1 out of the 4 pieces. So that's how you guys can think of the number line when we go further or deeper into what's between the whole numbers, which are 0 and 1. So yeah. Now let's split it into even more pieces. Let's say instead of 4 friends, we have 8 friends. Also, oh, sorry. Small clarification here. It's actually 1 over 4, 2 over 4, 3 over 4, and 4 over 4. Because let's say you start at 1 over 4, you have one piece, and then you take the second piece and you add them together. Now you have 2 out of the 4 total pieces. So you keep on going like that until you have all 4 of the 4 total pieces. Okay, let's get back to this example. So let's say we have 8 friends instead of 4 friends that we want to give the stick to. So we want to split it into more pieces, more equal pieces, right? So the first piece is now 1 over 8 total pieces. And then the second piece, when we add those two together, that would be 2 out of the 8 total pieces. And we keep going. So let's say we're on the sixth one. Now we put 6 because we have 6 total pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, over the 8 total pieces that we split it into. And if you notice, it is still 0 at the beginning and 1 at the end because even if we have more friends to give it to, we still have the same stick, right? So the ending number doesn't change, it's still 1. And so doesn't the start. Okay, now let's put this on the number line. Let's put the example where we have 8 friends on the number line. So at the beginning, the first vertical line is once again 0 because we have 0 of that stick. And then the second vertical line, we make a jump, right? We are adding a number to get to the next number on the number line. We're increasing. So let me go back to the board. So when we were um, on the whole number line where we had 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, where we weren't splitting into more pieces, we jumped by 1, right? Because um, we are adding 1, and we're trying to get to 2, we're trying to get to 3, we're trying to get to 4. But when we have a fractions number line, one sec. So when we're trying to represent fractions on the number line instead of whole numbers like 5 and 6, we also start at 0, and then we're gonna go all the way to 1 over here. Or actually, here we consider it 8 divided by 8. I'll explain why that is. First, we uh, we split this line into 8 equal pieces. So as you can see, this is one equal piece, and then this is the second, and then we keep doing that. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces, right? So now we understand that we split the line into 8 pieces. It's kind of similar to how the normal number line works, except now the numbers under the vertical lines have changed, right? So when we make um, so now when we're jumping from 0 to the next vertical line, instead of saying it's 1, we're gonna say it's 1 divided by the 8 total pieces because in total we have 8 pieces here, right? 8 pieces. So when we're trying to get to the end where we have all 8 of the pieces, we have to jump by small increments or small numbers. So first we add 0 plus 1 divided by 8 because we are adding one of the 8 total pieces, and that's equal to 1 divided by 8. And then we're going to do it again. So we start from 1 over 8, and we're going to add the same number. We are adding one more piece to um, how much we already have, which is 1. So we're going to add 1 divided by 8. And then you add the numerators. So you're going to add 1 plus 1 equals 2. And we're going to keep the denominators the same. So 2 divided by 8. And that's what this number is. And we continue on like that until we get this number line. So we start from 0 divided by 8. And we go all the way to 8 divided by 8 because we have added all 8 pieces. And we have all 8 pieces with us now. So make a number line. It's your turn. So take some time and draw a number line similar to this, where we start at 0 over 5 and we end at 5 over 5. And make sure to draw the right amount of vertical lines in between of those two. If you have any questions, make sure to ask. Okay, I hope everyone drew it and also filled it in. Uh, oh, sorry. So let's go to the answer and see if you got it right. So after 0 over 5, we're going to add 1 over 5 to get 1 over 5. So let's go to the board. So we start at 0 over 5, and we have 5 total pieces that we want to get to. So first we add the 1 over 5, right? So plus 1 over 5. So 0 plus 1 equals 1. And then we don't add the denominators, it stays the same. It stays as the total amount of pieces that you have. So that is 5. No, that you want to get to, not what you have. So 5 on the denominator and then 1 on the top. So that's the next number. And then once we get to get to the next vertical line, we do 1 divided by 5 plus 1 divided by 5. Now we add 1 over 5 again because we have 1 over 1 of the 5 pieces and we are adding another piece to that. So now how many total pieces do you have? You have 2 pieces of the 5 total pieces. So that's the next number on the number line. And you keep doing that until you get to 5 of the 5 total pieces. So you have all the pieces. Okay, let's do some more practice because this is very important. Draw another number line and split it into 10 total parts. And then label it like this one. I know this is a little bit of a step from the last question, but I believe you asked. Okay. I hope all of you guys tried the question and got an answer. So the answer will look like this. I know it looks like a lot, but please don't be overwhelmed. I can explain all of it. If you have any questions, raise your hand. Um, but yeah, so I'll very briefly explain it right now. So at the beginning, we have 0 of the number of the line, right? So we put 0 at the top and 10 at the bottom because we have 10 total pieces. Also, let's quickly count how many parts of the line that we've divided it into. So here we have one line, one vertical line, and then a second vertical line. So now we have one little box here you could think of, right? And then we have another vertical line after that, and we have another box. So we have 2 boxes now. And then if we keep doing that, at the end we will have 10 total boxes you could think of. And you have the total amount of vertical lines that you'll have is actually 11 because you'll have one for 0 and one for the end, which is 1. So it'll be 11 total vertical lines, but there will be 10 boxes because you have 10 parts. So let's get back to how to answer the question. So we have 0 divided by 10. And then to get to the next vertical line, we add 1 divided by 10 because we have 10 total pieces. So we get 1 over 10. And then we have 2 over 10 because we have 2 total boxes, you could say. We have 2 boxes out of the 10 total boxes. And we keep doing that until we get to all 10 boxes at the end, at the last vertical line. Okay, so let's attempt one last problem. This has less parts, but I won't give you guys any hints. So yeah, you guys should attempt it. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. 1 second. Yeah, you guys can attempt. Okay. I hope all of you attempted it without any hints, but now I'll give you the answer. So it's gonna look like this. And for this one, I'll actually walk through it one last time. Let's get the best understanding. So first, you guys want to draw the line, of course. We draw a big line. Uh, we draw a left arrow here. At the very beginning, we're gonna do one vertical line, and under that, we have 0 pieces, right? So we put 0, we put a line under it, and then we put the total amount of pieces that we're going to get to. So we have 3 total pieces. Now at the very end, we're gonna put 3 total pieces divided by 3 because we have 3 pieces and there's 3 total pieces. And now we're gonna want to add, so you have 0 and then 1 and here. So you're gonna add 2 more vertical lines because here you have 1 box, 2 boxes, and 3 boxes. So if you guys can visualize that, we have 1 piece here, 2 piece here, and a 3rd piece over here. So let me undo that. Okay. So now that we have all our vertical lines down, uh, we're gonna jump, right? We're gonna jump from 0 over 3. We're gonna add it because we are going to the right. We're gonna add 1 piece out of the 3 total pieces, and we're gonna add the 0 and the 1. So 0 plus 1 equals 1. And then we're gonna do the total amount of pieces below it. So 1 over 3. So that's what's gonna be over here. And then we jump again. Now we're adding another piece to the 1 over 3. So we're gonna add we're gonna add to the 1 over 3. So 1 over 3 plus, we're gonna add one more piece, so 1 over here, and then divide by 3 equals 2 total pieces now over the 3. So we have 2 pieces with us and then 3 total pieces. So I'm gonna do 2 over 3, right? And from the beginning, we already put the 3 over 3 at the end because at the end, we're gonna have 3 out of the 3 total pieces. So that's the answer to the problem. If you have any questions, I'll give you guys a minute to ask me. So please don't hesitate. Okay, I don't think anyone has any questions, which is fine. So let's go to the. So yeah, great job today, guys. I hope all of you learned how to piece together fractions from the last lesson and also number lines. You guys were you guys did a great job answering the questions, I hope. And let's quickly review all the topics that we learned today. So the first topic is, of course, how to represent a fraction as a whole. So if you have a circle here, you're going to put 2 lines to divide it into 4 pieces, 4 equal pieces. And how much ever of that circle that you have, so if you have one piece of that circle, then you have 1 over 4. That's a fraction of the circle that you have. And that's the most basic definition of a fraction, right? So you guys should always know that. And yeah, so the next point that we learned today is the number line helps us organize numbers from least to greatest, right? So we go from 0 and then we keep adding as we go to the right. So we go from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3. So we're adding numbers, we're getting larger and larger numbers the more we go to the right of the line. Now, in the number line, we can split the space between 0 and 1 into even smaller parts. So the best way to memorize that or to understand that, as I've explained, is to take a stick. The very beginning of the stick, you have nothing. You don't have the stick, but as you go to the right of that stick, you have the whole stick at the very end. Right? You're holding the whole stick. So when we want to say share the stick with our friends equally, we break it into equal pieces. So, and that's how we represent fractions on our number line. Right? So each piece that we give to our friends is like a part of the number line. So the first piece that we give is 1 over 4. The second piece is 2 over 4, 3 over 4, and then 4 over 4 if you have 4 different friends, right? So each jump to the right, it gives it a bigger numerator. All right, thanks everyone for participating. I'll give another quick minute for any questions if you guys have any. Okay, if no one else has any questions, thanks for participating again. And yeah, don't ever stop learning and make sure that, you know, you're always curious about how things work. And also make sure to ask questions if you have them. Thanks, guys.